The package includes the chamber itself, the adjustment ring along with the locking O-rings. We provide one spare, the pressure segment, the centering ring for the hop-up bucking collar, mounting grub screws for fixing the barrel, a long mounting grub screw for fixing the chamber in the gun body, and two sizes of O-rings for centering the chamber in the gearbox opening. The centering O-rings are placed in this groove and serve to perfectly center the chamber in the gearbox opening using either the smaller or larger O-ring. The chamber should slide nicely into the opening and have no play within the gearbox. The mounting grub screws are used for installing the inner barrel, as we'll see later. The grub screw for fixing the chamber in the gun body. The new pressure segment, which has the advantage over the old one of having a nicely rounded top part. It's therefore in contact with the adjustment wheel at a single point. The wheel doesn't touch the pressure segment via the outer edges, but nicely at one point in the middle. The chamber, like its older version, is made of 7075 duralumin with an H plus PT Fe finish, which not only looks good but is also very durable. This means that even an off-center nozzle under BB pressure won't wear down the surface with its movement. The surface is extremely durable and abrasion resistant. The chamber allows for fixation in the gun body using this long grub screw. This gives us the option to fix it directly in the body against any movement. This is an ideal solution for builds with the battery in the stock, where frequent removal of the entire barrel isn't expected. At the same time, the chamber has two grooves, now also in the bottom part, for the option of fixation in the barrel housing itself. The chamber then stays in the barrel housing after the outer barrel is removed from the gun body, preventing the entire chamber and barrel assembly from sliding out. For this use, a modification of the barrel housing itself is of course necessary, so it's a bit of a specialty for experienced technicians. The inner barrel lock is handled by 4 grub screws placed at 90-degree intervals around the circumference of the entire chamber. They now have a shifted position outside the original barrel lock. As a result, we aren't dependent on the specific position of the milled grooves on the barrel and can seat the chamber and bucking perfectly. The hop-up adjustment wheel allows for smooth and stable adjustment with a wide range. However, the precision of the adjustment is also maintained thanks to the use of 360 degrees. The pressure segment itself is calibrated directly to the opening, which is manufactured with a tolerance of 0.02 of a millimeter. We took great care with this part. The result is a perfect pressure fit without any unwanted side play. The second innovation and a major advantage of the chamber is the precisely shaped perfect fit for the hop-up bucking collar. The original chambers had a similar fit. However, we moved the shaped segment from inside the hop-up chamber into a ring that can be replaced if necessary. For buckings with a longer collar, you can also use our collar washer, but in most cases, it's not needed. That's why you won't find it in the package. The ring fits precisely onto the neck of the hop-up bucking and provides perfect support. The fit geometry works perfectly with maple leaf buckings, but also with most other standard shape buckings, just like with previous generations of our chambers. Notice that the collar geometry isn't just slanted. It also has a flat section. Maintaining this shape is crucial for a perfect collar fit, as well as for the nozzle seal on the collar. Before assembly, we prepared the hop-up chamber, installed the smaller spacing O-ring for the gearbox opening, and set the mounting grub screws for fixing the inner barrel. We applied a small drop of low-strength liquid thread locker to the mounting grub screws. Apply and spread a small amount of silicone oil onto the hop-up bucking. And slide on the ring for the collar fit. The collar fit is perfect. But check that the collar doesn't protrude over the edge of the fit. If it does, use the previously mentioned washer for longer collars. Next, carefully slide the barrel with the bucking into the chamber until it stops. And we can check through the feed hole to ensure the bucking doesn't actually protrude into the BB path. To ensure we're perfectly aligned, we'll use the milled grooves at the bottom of the barrel for alignment and tighten the first grub screw. Perform an initial tightening of all the grub screws. Tighten them in a cross pattern so we don't tighten one side more than the other. Before the final tightening, insert the spacing ring into the chamber and tighten all the grub screws. Now it's necessary to check that the barrel is nicely centered in the chamber. So we look into the muzzle and observe the shape of the collar on the other side. It must form a perfect circle. The position can be fine-tuned by gradually loosening and then tightening the corresponding mounting grub screws. Then we can proceed to install the pressure segment. It's a good idea to lightly grease the top part of it. Next we install the adjustment ring and secure it with an O-ring. If the groove is in the top position, we have the minimum pressure set. As indicated on the hop chamber, clockwise increases and counterclockwise decreases the hop-up pressure. The adjustment is nice and firm, yet smooth, and the chamber holds the setting perfectly. Now we need to check from the gearbox side if the hop-up bucking pressure segment protrudes into the barrel symmetrically, whether it is well centered. If necessary, loosen the grub screws by about a quarter to half a turn and find a better position by slightly rotating the barrel. Then don't forget to tighten the grub screws again. And there we have it, the chamber is ready for installation into the gun. So let those BBs fly.